let's make our clownfish PipeSkweek. If this is your first time creating with us, we want to share a few tips to make this experience a great one. If you haven't yet, visit our techniques videos linked in the description below. For all you first-timers, we sent you some pipe cleaners in your kit specifically to practice with these videos and learn common techniques that will make your piece even better. Regardless of how many times you've done this, you have some extra pipe cleaners in your kit in case you make a mistake. That's completely normal and we've planned for it. The more time and attention you give to your piece, the better it will turn out. So take all the time you need, follow the steps, and above all, have fun learning and advancing in this new art form. Happy twisting! Other than your kit, you will want to get a pair of scissors and a pencil, as well as an adult to help you with these things if you're a kiddo. Once you have a place all set up, let's get twisting. To begin, grab a full orange pipe cleaner. You will want to make it round like a circle and connect the ends together. Leave about ½ an inch or the length of a knuckle on each end. Then twist the connections together to secure your circle. Place your circle on the template that came with your kit and mold to the correct shape. You will need 2 of these bodies, so grab another full orange pipe cleaner and make that circle again to start. Overlap about the same amount of your knuckle and twist the ends together to secure. Then mold to the first body you made so they are the same size and shape. Hold both pieces together and work your way around, molding as you go. Now, we need to make some braces on these frames to make them strong enough to fill in. Start on the side around where the first bend at the top of the body begins, and wrap around a small piece of a full orange pipe cleaner to anchor on. You will gently bend over, then wrap around on the top. Connect the other side to the bottom of the frame. Make sure your pipe cleaner is straight, and then loop over the bottom edge of the frame to lock in that brace. Once you have it anchored, trim, carefully or with help, that long excess, and then secure the end by wrapping it on the frame as shown. Use the cut piece to make another brace on the other side in the same way. We have 2 more braces to add and your frame will end up looking like this. To make those horizontal braces, grab a full orange pipe cleaner. Near the top, secure on the start of your brace by folding over gently and wrapping around to tie on. As you pull the pipe cleaner to the opposite side, wrap around each brace with your pipe cleaner as shown. Do this gently so you don't lose your shape. This will strengthen that frame as you work with the piece. Be sure to loop around the next brace as well. Once you get to the opposite side, tie on one more time like you have been, then, carefully or with help, trim that extra and lock it in. Add another horizontal brace on the bottom in the same way. Use the artist placement here to help guide yours. Repeat this brace making process for your other body frame piece. Now we have 2 braced body frames and we are ready to move on. Let's fill in these bodies now. Grab a full orange pipe cleaner and one of the frames. Make a hook on the end of the pipe cleaner and secure onto the frame at the top to the side of the first vertical brace as shown. Work the pipe cleaner across the body and when you get to the other side, simply bend over the edge of the frame. Then flip the body over and pinch that turn in place. We aren't pulling so we don't lose our shape, but bend, turn, and pinch to wrap this guy all the way down. When you run out of pipe cleaner, grab another full one and extend. Overlap about the width of your fingernail and twist those ends together lightly so it matches the rest of the pipe cleaner. Then continue to wrap and fill this body shape. If you need to extend and it will wrap around the edge, trim it back, carefully or with help, and extend so that connection doesn't go over the edge of the frame. This will help us keep our shape and make wrapping easier. Once you reach the very bottom, weave over the edge as you pass it to keep the fill anchored. Weave over the opposite side of the frame to lock it in again. Lock in by weaving on the other side one more time before trimming, carefully or with help, and securing the extra. Repeat this wrap fill process on the second body frame. Secure on to start at the top, then simply bend, turn, and pinch as you wrap all the way down the body. Be sure to check your shape to the first piece you have filled every once in a while. If you need to unwrap and fix it, that's fine. Be sure to weave in on each side of the frame to lock in that fill before trimming, carefully or with help, and securing the end. Now both bodies are filled and ready for features. We are making those next. Let's make his fins. Grab a full orange pipe cleaner to start. Fold that pipe cleaner in half and carefully, or with help, cut it in the middle. Use one of those cut halves to shape to the fin on the template that came with your kit. Bend around the outline until you have the right size and shape. Once you've double-checked that size and shape and like it, secure on by twisting the ends over each other to lock it in. Leave that connection for later. Don't trim the extra. Here is where the fin will go later. Now start your second fin by shaping it to the one you just made. And be sure to leave a small amount on the end before you start shaping so you can connect it together. When you have the right size and shape, twist together the ends like before, leaving the longer piece as a connection later. You need 2 more fins, so repeat this process again. Now, pair them up so they line up together as shown. Let's fill in each fin. Start by making a small hook on the end of a full orange pipe cleaner. Then, tie onto the bottom outside of the fin. Work your pipe cleaner to the other side and we are going to loop on, going over and under, then back across to fill. This will be a weave all the way down the fin. So go over the edge, under the edge, then repeat back and forth as you go across, down your piece to fill. As you weave, be sure not to just pull the pipe cleaner through. Go over and under, then gently work it over the edge, almost folding over so you don't lose your shape. Once you finish, hopefully the connections will line up on the same side. Leave that connection and you will use it later. Continue filling your fins in the same way with a weave. It should take only 1 pipe cleaner to fill each. If you don't have enough for a connection when you finish the fill at any time, it's okay. Just secure it inside. We will be able to connect them without that extra one. Now you have all 4 fins filled. To make the top fin, grab a full orange pipe cleaner and carefully, or with help, cut it in half. Use one of your cut halves to shape to the top fin on your template that came with your kit. Shape, mold, and check again on the template to make sure it's right before securing the shape. To secure, wrap one long end around the other once, then push that piece through the hole you just made so you have two tails like you see here on the bottom of that circle fin. Grab a full black pipe cleaner and carefully, or with help, cut it in half. Line up one of the black halves in the center of the fin, leaving a small piece pointing down as shown. Now, weave that black through the hole to the back. Wrap it over the top of the fin and bring it all the way to the bottom and wrap over the bottom as well. Weave it back through once more to the top from the back to the front. Back through from back to front once more, being sure that black line is staying in the center. Twist the black ends together to secure that in. Now, carefully or with help, trim all the connections to match. Be sure to keep them long enough to connect as shown. When you finish this top fin, it should look like this. Now let's make this black shape to go on his side fin. Grab a full black pipe cleaner and carefully, or with help, cut it in half. Begin by bending a small amount on the end of that pipe cleaner as shown. Shape to the black curved stripe on the side of the template. You can pull the pipe cleaner through your fingers like you're curling a ribbon to help with the curved shape. Once you get to the top of the shape and have the right size, bend down on the pipe cleaner and then bring it back to the start. You will be doubling up this shape. Check it on the template to be sure it's right as you go. Keep shaping that pipe cleaner to the curve you've made. Once you have it shaped and sized correctly, twist that connection together at the bottom as shown to lock it in. Repeat this process once more to make 2 of these fin stripes. We need one more connection off the top of that fin stripe we just made. Carefully, or with help, cut a full black pipe cleaner in half. Then, cut that half in half again. You will need 1/4 of a pipe cleaner for this. Push that quarter pipe cleaner through the top of one of the fin stripes. Be sure you have some extra sticking out of both ends, then twist together as shown to secure. With that locked in, carefully or with help, trim off the longer piece, leaving the shorter one sticking out going the same direction as the connection on the bottom. Then, bend both those connections to point back as you see. Repeat this connection making process with the other 1/4 of a pipe cleaner you cut on the second fin stripe in the same way. With those connections pushed backwards, you now have 2 finished fin stripes. Now, let's connect our fin stripes to our fins. Grab your left fin and the matching stripe. The longer black connection is on the bottom for both fin stripes, so match those up accordingly. To connect, push the small black connection through the top outside corner of your fin. Only the front pieces, not both. Follow the fin stripe down the fin and push the bottom black connection through from front to back. You will push this in near the orange connection at the bottom of the fin as shown. Be sure to pull all of that through the fin, including the twisted connection on the black, being careful to keep your stripe on the outside edge of the fin. Once you have it where you want it, twist that top black connection around a couple of times in a circle to secure. Carefully, or with help, trim that longer piece on the bottom, leaving a small amount to bend over and secure on the back, like you did with the top. With one fin stripe connected, let's repeat this for the right fin. Check them together to be sure they look similar and you like them before trimming anything on the second stripe. With those stripes secured on both fronts of the fin, let's put our fins together to hide those connections we just made. Grab the matching back to the fins to get started. Then twist together those orange connections to lock them in. If you have one, just do one. If you have two, do both. We need to connect that outside of the fin together. Grab a full orange pipe cleaner and gently push that fin stripe out. Grab a pencil and an adult to help you. Poke a starter hole on the back of the fin at the bottom near the connection. Then, push that pipe cleaner through from back to front. It needs to go through both fin pieces. With a small amount through, twist over to connect with the longer end as shown. Grab that pencil and an adult if you need help and poke another starter hole midway up the fin from back to front. Then, push that pipe cleaner from back to front through both pieces. Poke one more hole near the top, carefully or with help, and sew that pipe cleaner one more time through from back to front. Now sew one more time from back to front near the top connection. This should go through easily, then gently twist a couple times around those already secured top connections as shown. Then, carefully or with help, trim the longer piece and secure. Be sure to push that fin stripe back down on your fin, and let's repeat this process with the other fin. If you only had one connection, simply wrap this extra around a few more times to strengthen that connection and secure the fin. Push down that black fin stripe again and carefully, or with help, trim the extra once it's locked in and secure. Now, let's make the top white stripe. To get started, curve a full white pipe cleaner and shape to the long strip on the template that came with your kit. Find the size on the template and bend at the ends of the curve when you find it. Lay it on the front of your fish to check the size. This should not come down past the cheeks, the larger rounded areas on the bottom. If it does, simply shorten your curves as you see. Once you have it lined up, simply push those long white connections through at the top at the appropriate spot as you see here. Be sure that white strip stays on the edge. Bring those long white connections back around and through the fill once more to secure on each side. Carefully, or with help, trim some of the extra from the back. Use that piece you just cut to push through the fill and connect to the top part of the curve. You will twist those ends together and hide on the back. Now, carefully or with help, trim those extra connections down and fold over each extra on the back to lock it in place. Shape again as you need to, keeping the white strip on the edge. Now let's make the black part of the mouth. Grab a full black pipe cleaner to start. You will need about 1/4 of the pipe cleaner to make this work, so carefully or with help, cut the full one in half, then cut one of the halves in half again. Shape this small cut piece to the black mouth on the template. Simply bend up the corners as you get the size, making a staple shape. Push up the center a little to give it a slight curve. Then push back those bent pieces as shown. You won't push straight back at the bend, but a little farther up to make it connect better and show some of that black. To make the tongue, grab a full pink pipe cleaner and carefully, or with help, cut 1/4. So, in half, and then cut one of those halves in half again. Bend a small hook on the end of the pink, then spiral around it in an oval shape a couple of times. Check your size on the template. When you have it right, simply push that extra to the back and work it across the back of the oval to the center. This will leave a nail-like shape. Shape and squeeze the piece to make it the right size as you want to. Compare it to the mouth and make sure that you like them together. Let's make the white part of his eyes. Grab a full white pipe cleaner and bend, then pinch and spiral around in a circle. Continue spiraling, checking on the template to the right size until you're happy with it. When you have the right size, push that extra from back to front on the outside edge of the piece. Then fold it back to the back and push that extra flat to the back and work it to the middle of the eye. Carefully, or with help, trim most of the extra, leaving about ½ inch to connect off the back. Repeat this process with another full white pipe cleaner to make the second eye. Be sure to be comparing to your first eye for symmetry. Now, let's make the black inside part of his eyes. Carefully, or with help, cut a full black pipe cleaner in half. Make the inside part the same way you made the white. Bend at the end and spiral around. Check for size to the black inside on the template. Once you have the right size, simply push that extra to the back and work it to the middle of the circle as shown. Carefully, or with help, trim off that long extra, leaving some to connect, still sticking out behind. Repeat this process again with the other black half you cut. Check to the first inside of the eye you made, for symmetry this time. Connect those together by pushing a black inside through the center of a larger white outside eyepiece. Do this again for the other eye. Twist the black and white connections together a couple times on the back for each eye. To complete his eyes, grab an extra piece of white and cut it in half as shown, carefully or with help. On each of the cut whites, bend back a small amount into a hook or knob at the end. Connect each of them in the top right corner of the black inside eye by pushing through your fill all the way to the very back of the white piece. When you have it in, carefully or with help, trim most of the extra and fold back the remaining piece to lock in. Repeat this process, including the upper right placement for the second eye. And there you have his eyes. Grab the front of your fish and we will connect his eyes now. As you start to find your place, be sure to keep that little white sparkle in the top right. Push in the second eye, lining it up with the first. If it's not right the first time, keep working with them until you like the placement. Again, be sure that sparkle is in the top right as you put them in. With the eyes where you want them, bend down and up on the black and white connections on the back to secure for each eye. Get the black mouthpiece and let's put that in now. Push it through a bit under the eyes and check to see if you like the placement. Adjust as needed. When you like where the mouth is, grab the pink tongue and push it snugly underneath and in the center of that mouthpiece. Shape and position until you're happy with the placement. When you like the tongue and mouth placement, bend those connections on the back to secure. Trim down anything that's too long as needed, carefully or with help. Now let's add the fins. Grab the back body piece and lay the front on it. Place your fins inside the body sandwich to check your placement. Don't forget your little top fin. Put that in the sandwich as well to check. Line up those side fins where they look right to you and then carefully remove the front, leaving the fins sitting on the back piece as shown. Where the connections sit, pull up that fill a bit across the fish. Then, lock in that top connection by putting it under that piece and folding it back over. Repeat for the other top connection of the opposite fin. Go through the same pulled up piece. Now check your placement by adding the front and seeing how it looks. Pull up another full piece to connect those bottom connections, securing by going under and over as you did the tops. Check again to make sure it's right. Center this top small fin. Pull out one piece on top and push those connections down through it, making sure it stays centered. Twist around those pieces you pushed through and secure and mash them down. Check your front again to be sure you're happy with all the fins. To put him all together, we're going to sew him with a pipe cleaner. Start by gently pulling up that white band on top slightly so you can get under to sew. Grab that pencil and an adult to help you poke a starter hole like we did with the fin. Push that full orange pipe cleaner through from front to back and twist around to secure it in. Continue carefully or with help, poking holes and sewing through them, looping over the frame as you move to the next hole each time. You are sewing from back to front each time, so we will just go behind the top fin and continue sewing. Once you get to the other fin, push down that white stripe on top and move the orange extra to the back. Then, carefully or with help, trim and secure it into the fish. Continue sewing across the bottom in the same way. Be sure to twist the connections together again to secure when you start. Then, poke holes carefully or with help and sew from back to front all the way across. Carefully or with help, trim that final piece and secure it in, and you're done! Thanks for creating this clownfish PipeSkweek with us. We hope you had fun. Be sure to give your fish a name and find a creative way to show him off. Follow and tag us on Instagram @AscendArtCo to show us what you made. Be sure to subscribe to this channel for more tutorials and fun creations. And until next time, happy twisting!